It is I, Vanti Veros, and finally, alas, the time has come for Berserk Volume 2 review. Ah, my lips didn't move at all. Man, God, curse this fucking web camera. But I'll repeat the things that are boring, that I have to get over with, da da da. Spoiler alert. Go read the shit if you really care. You know what I mean? And content warning, we're talking about some weird shit. I don't know. It's probably a funnier way to say it, but yeah, there's some fucked up shit that happens in this manga. I'm not gonna apologize for it. So I won't like blatantly fucking say like trigger words for YouTube to be like, "Ooh, you're a bad man." But yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get into it. So volume 2. Oh man, it starts with the whole Donovan thing. I'm not gonna say what happens because that's not YouTube friendly at all. I hate that it happens, but I like the moment where like Guts just pulls out the Glock and pops a cap in his ass and murders him. So I'm like, okay, a vengeance. But then later what happens is like there's this one event where looking back at this book, thinking about it, I literally, before I hit record on this video, I was literally opening the book, going through it, and like, oh, let me write down notes, because like, you know, this semi-scripted oath I took from my video before. Yeah, looking back at this makes no fucking sense, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Gambino loses his leg and has to retire from being like the big boss of the mercenary company, the big bad. Some dudes are like, they make like some offhand joke about it, and then Gambino kind of like loses his shit and gets triggered, but he just sits back down and doesn't do anything. But like, dude went off the rails real fast for fucking absolutely no reason. Later in the story, he ends up getting drunk and then pulling out a sword on Guts to kill him, being like, "Oh, you're a cursed child, and we should have never picked you up from the." If you don't know how Guts got born, there was the hanging tree, as they will say, and woman splooged Guts out as a dead woman's. So everyone kind of does this thing where they think he's a cursed kid or something, and to the point where Gambino loses his leg and then he starts fucking getting believed to think that shit. But he monologues about how he basically admits he pays 3 silver coins for the Donovan thing to happen, a nasty fucking piece of shit. And then this is the part that makes no sense to me. I shit you the fuck not. Like, he swings at Guts. Guts blocks it, but then because like Gambino's on a crutch, he like falls into the blade. I swear to God, like, someone comment, maybe I'm looking at the panels wrong, but I shit you the fuck not. I re-looked at it. He falls into his blade. Guts's like tent begins to burst to flame, and then like, oh lord, I don't even. Then the people outside, yeah, this is what I'm getting to. I stopped looking at my notes because I'm revisioning it into my cerebral cortex. They're like, oh, there's a fire and it's Guts' tent. They all, some of the band of the company that are like on patrol, they like run into the tent, and then they're just like, off the rip. By the way, this is like off the rip, no questioning, no nothing. They're just like, oh, he's a father murderer. And it's like, I think when I first read it, I didn't really like pay that much attention to it. I don't think I did. I kind of was just like having fun with it and being like, oh, this is fucked up. But thinking back onto it, it's like you see that like Guts is like on the ground, the bench or whatever is like broken, and he's looking at him being like, what the fuck, Gambino, basically, because he knows he's drunk and shit like that. He even makes Guts makes a comment that he's drunk. But then it's like, he wouldn't burn his own tent on fire. Like, why the fuck? Like, the logic just goes out the fucking window for this panel. And it looking back at the book made me go like, yeah, this made no fucking sense. Just right off the rip, you're just gonna call him a murderer, even though like you walked into the circumstance and like, like I would get it right if Guts was like drawn where he was like on top of Gambino with the sword in his chest. But like, no, the motherfucker fell onto the blade. And then like they just accuse him out of nowhere. Just like, oh, he's a fucking father murderer. And I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. So for some reason, tent burns down. He says, all right, I'm gonna piece the fuck out. Gets on a horse, or I think, yeah, he gets on a horse. He gets like shot with like 2 arrows or something. Rolls down a cliff. They assume he's dead. They walk off. Then he gets jumped by a pack of wolves. He fends them off. Then another company finds him, and then literally as soon as the other company finds him and like takes him in, it's like time skip. So yeah. So, but as far as I know, that's my only real gripe or complaint about Volume 2 because that shit made no fucking sense. But the writing gets way better. And oh boy, revisiting the Golden Age arc, I had like a nerdgasm. I don't know how else to say it. I had a nerdgasm because like when you first experience the Golden Age arc, there's so much like foreshadowing, but like when you first experience the Golden arc, you don't understand what the foreshadowing is relating to. But like when you actually finish the Golden Age arc and then like let's say you go to reread it again, oh my god. To me, maybe I'm glazing too fucking hard, but the writing was absolute fucking cinema. Oh my god. Anyway, I've stopped rambling and get distracted. Oh yeah, the Grey Knight Bazuzo. He's basically there in the one fight. There's like this castle fight going on. The Band of the Hawk were there. Everyone's afraid of the Bazuzo being this big. The dude's built like a gallon jug water tank in like a fucking battle axe. But he basically, they're like, oh, if you could take him out, one of the kings or nobles are like, if you take him out, I'll pay you double or triple or whatever. And then he tries to talk him up, but he stays at a price. And then Guts is like, oh, whatever. I don't have time to fucking argue with you. And then they go to combat. He's just wailing on fucking Bazuzo. That man was getting his shit rocked. He was like, ting, ting, ting. I was like, oh, god damn. I knew Guts was too angry to die, but Jesus, this early on? Oh, man. And then this cool moment happens where, like, they clash the blades and the axe cracks. It doesn't break yet, but, like, it's like he did, like, a parry, and then he goes to riposte into, like, this other move to then go to slash, like, an overhead slash. And the axe hits, like, Guts' helmet, but because the axe blade was already cracked, it basically fucking shatters. It was kind of badass, so I was like, oh shit, and then like splits Broski's head in two. So yeah, you get a split fucking skull and kills him. That was fucking sick to see the drawings for that. Oh my god. And then a little bit of fast forwarding on my end because there's just a lot of like just whoa, cool. It was not boring, but there was just really cool battlefield like art pieces that I thought were fucking sick. You know me, I'm a fucking fantasy nerd. I love seeing like cool shit like that. But later, Griffith, we're not talking about Griffith yet. I looked at my fucking page and got distracted. Fuck. Guts gets paid the amount, and then this guy's like, hey, you should become a knight, I could pay you more, and you'll be treated better. And then, like, he goes to touch, like, Guts or whatever. And then we know Guts is traumatized as fuck, because the whole Donovan thing, need I say more? Like, and he goes like, don't touch me! You know, that's what Guts does, and, like, pushes him away. And then the Band of the Hawk, we get introduced to those characters a bit, and Guts is coming down the road, and Corcus is like, he killed Bazuzo, but we're not in battle no more, so we could take that money and use it for our own, and then he gets his band, his little posse, and goes and chases his ass. Corcus is a bitch. He's not really gonna go fight his own battle, so he's just there, and he's like, God, I forgot the dude's name. I should really go back in the book and think about it. They're like, Bozo, go get him, and then like he gets fucking sliced in half completely. So yeah, it's fucking crazy. And then like they're getting their ass whooped, so Griffiths is just like chilling and just being in the grass and like, Casca, go handle it, That's the voice I give Griffith, by the way. I have some like a dialogue I typed up that I'm gonna voice act, and I'll explain why the Griffith voice I give him this kind of voice. But Costco goes there and goes like, oh shit, like she's getting like fucking overwhelmed by this dude just fucking slamming the blade at him. And then Griffith kind of gets sick of it. He goes, deals with it. He sees how, like strong he actually is to like fucking deal with all this shit and beating Bazuzo. They have some banter about it. And then he does this whole thing where it's like, oh, well, if I win, you belong to me, Gives him, like, the goofy predator eyes. Oh, my God. Side note, I don't remember the anime having this, like, moment between them. But in the manga, I swear to God, the mango is cinema, bro. if we ever got an anime that did exactly frame for frame what the manga does, it would be golden. But basically, like, through the whole thing, he's like, I like you and I want you, Guts. And then Guts just looks at him. It's like, are you a homo? It's straight off the rip, bro. I was like, dude, Guts, you're a legend, bro. This is why I fucking love this character. Just straight up, are you gay, dude? Like, what the fuck? Oh man. I'm telling you, it is a fucking trip. Absolute cinema. But then if you know the Golden Age arc, you know, he gets his ass beat, and Casca has to like warm him up because he lost his blood, and she punches him in the face. I think we get introduced to, I can't remember, it's Judo or I forgot their names, or Rickert. The one of them two, they have a little bit of dialogue. Pardon me, but I'm gonna skip up a little bit because like there's some more battle scene, there's some character development that's really really good, you know. And we get to learn about the Behelit because he had the Crimson Behelit. Griffith has it, you know. And they talk about it for a bit. How he got it from like an old gypsy woman or some shit. But yeah, if I remember, there's a battlefield scene that happens, and they do like this tactical thing to basically raid this camp. And Guts was going off on his own or something and was like holding them back for longer. The reason why I mentioned this, I didn't write it in my notes. I completely forgot about it. But I'm reliving the memories of me reading it, and I felt like this was important because then Griffith goes to rescue Guts, basically bring him back to the rest of the company, and then Casca does this whole thing where she's like, "Oh, you don't give a damn about your comrades. You're just a mad dog," you know, shit like that. And it really eats at Guts because he's like, what the fuck, bitch? I do care." If I didn't care, I don't act as how I used to before. I'm not going it alone. But anyway. But this relates into Nosferatu Zod. Big man, big boy Blastoise. I don't know, man. I don't know. My brain just is going to fucking memes for some reason. But yeah, I love Nosferatu Zod. I think he's a really cool fucking character. The best way I can explain it, his like human form and his beast form, or apostle form, I think is the terminology for it. The best way I can explain it to me, he reminds me of Ganondorf from Zelda. Not in like the entire character of Ganondorf and like who can, it's like the art. That's the thing. The art design. It reminds me of Ganondorf because he has like the human form that looks a little bit like a monster a bit, but then like he has the actual Ganon form that's like a monster. That's what Zod reminded me of, and I thought it was fucking sick. But yeah, like he was just murking people left and right, and then they talk about him being a legend that's been around for like 300 years, and everyone talks about him being missing from the battlefield, but he always comes back and he's resurrected, therefore why they call him Nosferatu. Side note also, I don't know if the anime even explained that, but the manga did, and I kind of appreciated that because I was like, oh, it kind of makes sense of the name. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot that just likes when writers explain shit of like their naming convention or some shit, and like does this breadcrumb trail of lore building or world building around, you know, telling the actual story, but having like a side thing. They're like, hey, here's a little thing, you know. I don't know. I enjoy that shit, but yeah, fucking one of the dudes got fucking murked, and then Guts is like, I'm going in, and they're like, no, stay back. Like, don't you tell me to stay back, this is bullshit. I fucking love Guts, dude. Oh, man. But he goes in, and we get introduced to the character. They have like a 1v1 going on, and like, Guts breaks his scimitar. I call it a scimitar because it looks like it's a bit, I don't know if it's like curved, but it looks brutish and, you know, kind of like a, what's that sword, that blade called? Like a machete. Yeah, a machete. It kind of looks like that, but he like breaks that shit in half. And then Zod's like, oh, I've never had anyone do that in the 300 years of my combat. And then he transforms into his apostle form, and it's so fucking sick. And like Griffith comes to try to save the day, but then like he goes to try to kill Griffith, and then this is the part I wrote down. I wanted to voice act that. I thought it was fucking cool. It's like
What is this? The egg of the king? The egg of the king, a cub like him with the crimson badge of the god hand? So, it's that kind of ploy. Our battle is on hold for now, boy, but I wonder if I'll meet up with you again. Here's a word of warning. No, a prophecy. If you can be said to be a true friend of this man, then take heed. When his ambition collapses, death will pay you a visit, a death you can never escape.
And he just fucking does these badass like bat wings and just flies through the fucking ceiling. It was, oh my god, it was absolute cinema. I don't know if like the actual manga had like this cool like double page art drawing at the end of the chapter, but like the deluxe edition had it, and I was just like, I like turned the I turned the book vertically so it like, you know, it's lined up like it looks how it's supposed to. And I was like, man, this looks fucking sick, man. But yeah. But that's the voice I gave for Zod and his beast boy. I try to do like this graspy, harsh, bestial thing, you know. Because he's a behemoth of a creature, you know. Jesus Christ. You think I'm gonna 1v1 that? Hell no. That motherfucker's on some roids if I ever seen any. Oh man, we have fun on this channel. Oh my goodness. And then like as the story keeps progressing, you know, Guts is thinking about that. Like, what do you mean? He means I'm gonna die? Like, what the hell? You know? It's like, what is the implication of that? You know? All because of that damn fucking pendant on his neck. Like, what the hell? And then, we go into, like, them being at this, the castle. I guess it's, like, the capital of Midland, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. The king's there. We're introduced to Charlotte and, Count Julius. These are important characters. By the way, side note, there's a reason why Volume 2, this video, took so long. There is like, I didn't know Nosferatu Zod's chapters were 4 fucking chapters, and then the assassination, the arc I'm about to get into, is another 4 fucking chapters. That's why this video took so long. Anyway, back to the fucking point. We get introduced to them. Griffith has like this like thing where he goes about trying to riz up the fucking princess, Charlotte, you know? And, yeah, then the hunt thing happens. Before the hunt thing, there's, like, this advisor count. I gave him, like, this mischievous old, like, kind of voice. Where he's like, oh, anything could happen on a hunt. Let's say you go to fell a beast and there's a stray arrow. And Count Julius is like, are you suggesting that I... And he's like, oh, nothing like that. Anything can happen after all. A stray arrow, Count. You know? Like, it's just like they had this little thing. And they actually try to pull the plan off, you know? And, like, the Charlotte's horse kind of goes crazy and, like, tries to ramp. Because, like, the boar scared the horse. You know how horses are. They're just going to fucking bolt. And Griffith goes and saves her from the thing or whatever. And right when he gets Charlotte back on the horse, Broski with the poisoned arrow fucking pulls the trigger, fucking tries to shoot Griffith. Spoiler alert, the fucking egg of the king blocks it. Ooh, just fucking, oh my god. This pendant has some goofy ass supernatural powers, I tell you what. It's, what's the term? Plot armor. This pendant gives you fucking plot armor. You cannot die for some reason. But yeah. So he doesn't die. Griffith calls in Guts, you know. And Griffith was like, "Oh, I was researching in the town, and I found that this poison was created from the Calabal bean or something." Calab bean. I don't know. I can't remember. It was like C-A-L-A. I don't know how to enunciate it, but it's some kind of bean. And he's like, only one person in town bought this. And I had one of the maids spy on the count, and he was acting a bit strangely. And so he goes, well, Guts, I'm asking you to kill a man for me. Can you do that, Guts? It's so fucking wild. And then, low-key, I love how Guts responds, though. He's like, this isn't like you. Why don't you order me like you always do? But, yeah. It's, it's kind of petty as fuck in my opinion though, because like I get the guy tried to kill you, but you're no different than the nobles, because you're trying to do some shady shit. You don't even want to get your hands dirty, so you're gonna get guts to do it. Anyway, it, it's a whole thing. I don't know. Oh my god. Guts goes to try to go in there, and then we see Julius with his son Prince Adonis, you know, and they're like having they're supposed to be sparring, but he's going like hell's bells on this fucking kid for no reason, just to be a dick because he's pissed off about the whole Griffith situation and him being one-upped, and the White Dragon Knights are pushed aside for the Band of the Hawk. Like there's this whole thing, you know, because of nobility and I mean something or whatever. It's fucking goofy, but yeah, he's wailing on his fucking son, and then I don't know if the anime did this, but like in the manga they did this moment where like Guts is like on the rooftops doing like Assassin's Creed style shit, and he has like this moment of like flashback of like him and Gambino, and he sees like himself in Prince Adonis, and I thought it was so fucking, it was like cinema, bro, because it literally was pretty much basically the same thing. It's pretty fucking abusive, but yeah, because like he was always trying to impress Gambino, just like Prince Adonis is wanting to try to impress his father, I guess, the Count Julius or whatever, you know. And oh man, just how this whole spirals out. If you know, you know, but it's so fucking stupid, man. Like you kill Goofy Goober Julius, and then like, oh my god, the fact that the kid had to be right there, dude. Oh my god, because the whole stipulation was Griffith was like, you aren't allowed to be seen. It would sabotage the mission basically or something. But like, because he can't be seen, he has to kill the kid essentially or some shit. I don't know why. It was just, oh, it's so fucked up. But like, he dies. Game overs. Fuck, I probably, so much for the censor. Oh, fuck. Oh well. Out the window on that one. I got too immersed. Damn it. Anyway, shit happens. He gets out of the castle. Everyone's wondering where Guts is. And Corcus is like bantering and making fun of him, being like, oh, he's probably out swinging his sword, thinking he's gonna fucking win some fucking duel or something, you know? He's so obsessed with killing, you know? By the way, Corcus, he starts off being this hateful dude, but he becomes like the most normal dude in the party sometimes because he questions shit. Some people don't like Corcus. I like Corcus because he adds some bit of realism to this shit. Like, he's like, oh, Guts is cool and all of it. Like, man, this man just loves to kill. But Guts comes in and like, oh, he's bloodied and stuff like that, and he's like, where's Griffith? And Casca's like, he's out with the party thing. Like, you can't just walk up there. He's like, all right, thanks. And he just keeps walking. He's like, did you even hear what I said? Like, I love Casca too. Casca's another favorite, bro. Oh my god. But then we get this monologue, and I typed up some dialogue I'm gonna read in the Griffith voice. After I read the voice in the voice I do, I'll explain why I do the voice, because it goes into the narrative thing and how I see Griffith. But they go up, and Griffith's at this fountain outside of the party with the Princess Charlotte and everything, and they're having a conversation. You know, he's basically Griffith is trying to rizz this woman up the best way possible. I don't know how. He just gets away with it. You know, it's basically, he goes in this whole monologue that I think's really interesting, and I typed this out because I really wanted to talk about this dialogue because I think it's fucking amazing, because it shows how fucking disgusting Griffith is in the background. All the Griffith fans out there, I understand it. Look, I'm be honest, he's a cute looking femboy. As a bisexual man, I would tap that. But would I date or marry him? Fuck no. This dude's terrible. I will explain. Oh boy. Let me get into the immersion, the roleplay. It could certainly be that men possess that savage side. But that is a tool by which they secure and protect a precious thing. Suppose it is a double-edged sword. But for a man, before he can obtain those two, perhaps, he must come upon one other precious thing, for no other's sake, to accomplish it for him, for himself, a dream. Whether it suits them or not, people yearn for a dream, sustained by a dream. hurt by a dream, revived by a dream, and even after being abandoned by a dream, it continues to smolder from the bottom of one's heart, probably until the verge of death. A man should envision such a lifetime once, a life spent as a martyr to the god-named dream. They are, and then he does this thing where he talks about it. He's like, oh, you must like your comrades and stuff like that. And then he talks about him and he goes, they are my valuable comrades devoting themselves to the dream I envision. But to me, a friend is something else. Someone who would never depend upon another's dream. Someone who wouldn't be compelled by anyone but would determine and pursue his own reason to live. And should anyone trample that dream, he would oppose him body and soul, even if the threat were me myself. What I think a friend is one who is my equal. You know, he does that whole thing, and oh my god. The reason why I give him this voice, the thing with Griffith, right, as a character, I feel like he's a very emotionless fucking bastard. He doesn't really care. And the way he talked about in this dialogue that I was reading, it's more of like he sees people as tools. He doesn't see them as people. He sees them as tools, as a means to accomplish his fucking goals. And it's really fucking like, it's villainous, honestly. It's fucking terrible. Because like, and that's another thing too, is like this whole thing with Casca, like, because from the beginning, we already know Casca loves and values fucking Griffith, right? But like, he don't give a fuck about her. He cares about his own status. So he starts going after Charlotte. And you think he likes Charlotte? Fuck no, dude. He's trying to get a status, a claim to the throne. Because he's all about, I have a dream of my kingdom, and one day I will own my own kingdom. Like, that's Griffith, bro. And I give him, like, this dastardly, emotionless femboy voice, because that's literally how I see him. Like, bro, dog. If a femboy, all my guys and girls out there, if a femboy dude, a twinkish looking dude looks at you like this over here, oh my god, fucking run. It is a red flag. Fucking run. Run for the high heels. It is not worth it. Something's gonna happen in the relationship, and they're gonna blame you for it because you got in the way of his dream. Oh, Lord have mercy. But I give him like the cold, callous, kind of like debutante dramatic voice because of that. I feel like it accentuates the character. It makes it seem like that. But oh man. And then we get the like a little bit after that, we get the Casca thing where this misogynistic fucking prick comes out of the woodwork and just starts wailing on her. Guts comes in and fucking like, I think he severely wounds the guy. I don't know if he died. But then Guts is like, wait, this isn't like you. You've never held off in a battle like that. You keep being like that, you're gonna get yourself killed. You know, and turns out she had a fever. And like, she goes to fall off the cliff. Guts tries to rescue her. Bro swims through the river in like full armor. Don't know how he does it. That was crazy. But he saves her and stuff like that. And then like they get into the backstory. The next chapter, it explains Casca was like of peasant descent or whatever with the 6 children. There was a noble that came and wanted to purchase Casca as a maid, quote unquote maid. Not even halfway down the road in the carriage or whatever, he tries to like come on to her in that R word I'm not gonna use. YouTube, please don't fucking render me asunder and throw me down to the fucking wells of despair. Griffith rescues her. But then there's this thing Griffith says that kind of fucks with me, because like, he saves her, well, he doesn't know. I should rephrase that. Because he doesn't really save her. He looks down on the noble dude and says some kind of fucking line. Oh, I wish I wrote it down. I would try to voice act it. Do something like, you call yourself a noble and you think you're one with God, I suppose. And like, Griffith throws down the sword like between them. And then it's like this moment of like they're both Casca and the noble dude trying to reach the fucking sword. Casca reaches the sword, noble dude falls into it. And then like instead of like Griffith being like, "Oh, come join us," he doesn't do that. And I think it's intentionally writing because oh my god, I have a nerdgasm about how they write Griffith because it's like he comes off like this hero, charismatic character, but the more you learn about him, the more fucking sadistic and like weird he is, bro. He's just fucking weird. Because then he does this thing where like, oh well, you could do what you want. You can come with us or not. It's your choice, you know. And Casca's like, well, I'll come with you. And it's like, oh well, yeah, I suppose you know how to use a sword. And then it's like the chapter ends. And I'm like, the way you said that and the way you worded that, you didn't really give a fuck if this woman died or not. You just basically gave her the option. She's gonna take survival, obviously. Duh. And then like the fucking like, can I come with you? And it's like, oh well, it's your choice, you know, it's whatever. You know, like he just like brushes it off. Like, I don't know. Ah man, it's so weird. And then like thinking about like the backstory we just got and then how we've met Casca up until this point. Because you have to also remember, Casca had like a hate boner towards Guts because Griffith was like being all like dramatic, like I want you, Guts. You are an asset to me, you know. He doesn't say an asset, but like you get what I'm saying. Like, it's a tool for him to use and abuse to get up the ladder. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, because Casca, like, became, like, infatuated, like, fairy tale with him. And I think the whole thing with Charlotte broke that thing with her, inside of her, having feelings for Griffith. And, like, Griffith doesn't really see her as anything more than just a pawn in his chessboard, as a thing to play. And it's just, I don't know, it's so fucked, bro. I don't even know. I know volume 3 we're gonna get into the activation of the egg of the king, and oh lord, bro, can't wait for that. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. I'll throw up some images on the screen and stuff like that. And yeah, holy shit, dog, it's just crazy, man. It's, oh, it's just the way, it's good writing, but goddamn, it's, I don't know. Anyway, keep your blade sharp and your mind sharper. Peace out.